In this lesson, we will understand how to handle layers. In After Effects, there are several types of layers including text, solid, light, camera, null object, shape layer, adjustment layer, Adobe Photoshop file, and Maxon Cinema 4D file. Each layer is used for a specific purpose and has unique set of properties. We will understand them step by step while working on the projects. And remember, you need to select either composition panel or timeline panel to make these layer options visible. If you are in project panel, these options will not get highlighted. Now in After Effects, layers are affected both by vertically and horizontally. In vertical order, topmost layer will be visible above to the lower layers, just like you did in Photoshop. Like here, my sample copied text layer is visible above to the both of the other layers. If I select and drag it to the below of these layers, now my text layer still exists but will not be shown because it's just below of the other layers, which contain a background color. So in layer stack, visibility works from top to down. Let me put my text layer on its place again. Now it's again visible. Let me zoom out my timeline by dragging this bar. Okay, now let's talk about horizontal order. In horizontal order, a layer visibility depends on its length. Currently my text layer is visible for a whole 50 seconds as it starts from beginning and remains till the end time. So if we move to the end of the layer, our pointer will get changed to this arrow in order to stretch this layer. Let's shrink this layer to 5 seconds. Now our text layer will be visible to 5 seconds only. So if we move playhead, text will be shown up to 5 seconds, and as soon as layer ends, text will be disappeared. Let me stretch this layer again. We can do the same thing to the starting point of the layer. Text will only appear when layer begins. In this way, we can decide when to appear or disappear an object in our animation. So I think it's time to make a very simple and basic animation based on layer timing. So go to the file, new, and choose new project. Now let's make a new composition. Everything looks fine here and our project duration is 10 seconds. So I'm going to just OK it. Now let's import a file to work on our project. So go to project panel, right click in this area and choose import file. I have already made an Illustrator file to work, so I'm going to import that. Actually, After Effects does not bind us to import files in JPG or PNG or some specific formats only. We can directly import Illustrator and Photoshop files to the composition, including with their layer arrangements. When you select it, it will display its preview here and provide some details. Currently, this file is of 900 by 900 pixels. Now we have to bring this file to our timeline. So there are two ways to do that. First, select the file and drag it to the composition. Bring it to the center of the comp and it will automatically snap it to the center of the composition. Now our file is automatically added to the timeline. Let me delete it to show you the next method. We can also drag this file directly to the timeline and it will be snapped to the center of the composition. You can do it either way, it depends upon your choice and convenience. Now it's time to make some animation. So what I'm going to do is to stretch this layer and make sure it lasts to 1 second only. Now I'm going to duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl D on my keyboard. It has made a copy of this layer. Now just click on this file and go to transform and choose flip horizontal. It will just flip the drawing horizontally. Now pick this layer and drag it to the end of the first layer. And remember, it must be snapped to the end of this layer. Otherwise it will give a jerk in animation. So to snap it perfectly, hold down Shift and drag it. It will snap the layers accurately. So if we move our playhead, it will show flipping colors. Because we have used same drawing, so there is no change in size and we have just flipped it horizontally, so there is no change in position. We will only get flipping colors. Again, I'm going to duplicate this by pressing Ctrl D and move it to the end of the second layer by holding Shift to snap it accurately. Now just right click on this layer and choose Transform Flip Vertical. Now we have one more variation. So just do the same procedure and make some variations. Well, I have made some and it's nearly 9 seconds long. So let's preview our animation. Place your playhead to the start of the layer and press spacebar. So we have made very simple but cool digital animation just with layer timings and transform property of the layer. Now I want to show you one more feature. You can see all layer colors are set to blue currently, which is shown here, but we can change it. Just select the layers holding down shift and click on the first layer. Now just click on this blue square. It will give you some color options. Suppose I want to make it yellow. Now all layer colors have been changed to yellow. And also it will not affect your object's color anyway. It will be only used to categorize layers when we have a bunch of layers. To understand it, let's draw a circle first. Now we can easily categorize our layers. Yellow layers are Illustrator files and blue layer is just shape layer. Well, it seems funny because we have a few layers here, but when we work on larger projects and have hundreds of layers, it becomes very handy. And also there are predefined colors for each type of layer. To change that, just go to Edit, Preferences, and choose Labels. Here we can see which color is set for a particular layer, and we can also change them. Down here, we can see color combinations, like red color will look something like this. If we want to change them, just click on the color and change that. Well, I am not going to change them as I am very happy with the current color themes. In next lesson, we will learn about basics of animation.